The Minnesota Wild got beaten by the San Jose Sharks on some shenanigans. What's with this Yaroslav Askarov starting after he was not the first one to leave warmups? Something's afoot here. I think the Sharks might have pulled it. No, the Wild just can't. They can't bury anything. They couldn't bury a corpse in the earth. They couldn't bury a corpse. You can't have as many chances right out in front of the goalie as the Wild did and not capitalize on them and expect to win a game. And hey, Alex, guess what? Remember when we said that you can't bank points against the San Jose Sharks anymore? Ding.
The tides are turning.
Turns out the Sharks are actually pretty good. They're actually pretty youthful, pretty electric, pretty, use whatever analogy you want. And the Minnesota Wild fall once again by a score of 2-1 in overtime. Look, the game's not the big story of tonight. The big story of tonight is that Bill Guerin did an interview with Emily Kaplan and said that he's not afraid to make a major shakeup to this roster.
How can he? How can he?
How can he? Does he want to?
Right. Yeah. But there's not a whole lot of assets like that can make a huge, that don't have no trade clauses. How much is Liam Ogren going to bring you?
Let's much like the Minnesota Wild delayed scoring their first goal of the game tonight, we have delayed the intro. Hey, let's fire it up because it's postcast time.
You are Locked On Wild Postcast, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Minnesota Wild, not 5-on-5, lost 2-1 in overtime to the San Jose Sharks. A game that, according to the deserve to win-o-meter, they should have won 75.7% of the time. Hey, full credit to the Wild defense for the first 66% of the game. They bottled up a very exciting Sharks offense, but it turns out the Minnesota Wild offense can't score a 5-on-5 goal to save their lives, and you can't win games on power play goals alone. I have consulted scholars, professors, and the old leather-bound books of some of the greatest scientists that have ever graced the face of this earth, and they all say the same thing. You can't win hockey games scoring just power play goals. It's written in the annals of American history. You can't win hockey games by only scoring power play goals.
And they let the Fresh Prince get loose in the third there, and Celebrini the Wild, and they had so many chances. They were out shooting them by a large margin, and you knew it was going to come back to haunt them, right? That always happens, and the youth took over, and you can't bank points against these young teams anymore.
The Minnesota Wilds gave up 1.54 expected goals against tonight and lost. They generated 3.14 expected goals and lost. They had how many high danger? Somehow, I don't know if I believe this. I don't think I believe this. The Wild were credited with 3 high danger shot attempts. That cannot be accurate.
No.
The Wild had
it looked like only Boldy's power play goal.
At least 8 different looks. 8 different looks right out in front that they couldn't bury. And you can't win games if you don't score those goals.
Yeah. Just the Sharks were asking the Wild to win this one tonight, and they just let them have it. It's crazy. Now they're going to be continuing to chase these young teams. And someone put in the chat, Ducks up next. Oh my goodness,
that's a great Ducks team. That is a elite.
Leo
Ducks
Carlson,
team.
he's just like Celebrini. So it's just another Cutter Gauthier. They have Jackson Lacombe. I think he should be on the U.S. Olympic team. That's my hot take tonight.
Ooh. Let's do this because I was told in a previous episode I was way too whiny.
It's hard. It's hard when they lose like that. We got a little repeat. We got a little bonus for 2 in a row there, but then it was the Sharks went jaws on us, and not good.
Right back to it. And I'll contend if this team is trying to convince us that they're a playoff team, then I'm going to hold them to a playoff standard. And playoff teams can't rely on power play scoring. I'm going to say it 1,000 times tonight. Somebody keep track. You can't rely on power play scoring alone. It was in the chat multiple times, multiple people. In 18 games this year, the Minnesota Wild have scored 1 5-on-5 goal 11 times.
I also thought it was funny that Russo brought it up too, that John Klingberg is completely healthy with the Sharks.
Oh my God. Well, trade for him then. Bring him back in.
Mm-hmm. But Jiricek is going to probably be in the press box again if all guys healthy. Damon Hunt looks like he's kind of usurped his spot when Middleton's back and everybody. I don't know what's going on there. They can't figure it out.
I think my big thing with Jiricek is I think the Wild are trying to box him into being the stay-at-home defenseman of the pairing because, hey, he's big. He's big, so we can use that big play to be physical. He's not that kind of a player. He is a jump up in the play, offensive defenseman, and until the team figures out that is the role that he is best suited for, this is going to continue to happen. They're trying to put square peg, round hole. He is a jump up in the play, offensive defenseman, and until they stop trying to play him as a stay-at-home defensive defenseman, this is going to continue to happen.
100%. And poor Liam Ogren, too, is just banished to Iowa, and Yurov on the fourth line. It just seems like they are kind of mishandling assets all over the place. Yeah, and then someone in the chat, too, brought up Nico. Someone brought up Nico Sturm in the chat. It's the back surgery. Who knows when he's going to be 100%?
My money puck has temporarily.
I don't really like Zuccarello out there in overtime either. Just with his age, to be out there with Zuccarello or Celebrini, and just get some of the younger guys out there for overtime.
Yeah, I don't even get me started on overtime. Some of the things that I liked tonight, Matt Boldy just continues to be noticeably better this year than he was last year. And in one particular area, I don't know if you've noticed this, Alex, but his one-timer accuracy is substantially better this year.
That shot, just like that when he scored that goal against the Devils, that it's just noticeable. I think he's gotten a lot stronger too, and he's finding really good spots to shoot the puck from, and he's been deadly.
Yeah, like it's just he really did, and they mentioned during the broadcast playing for a potential spot in the Olympic team. Like, good. I want that pressure to be as good as you can every night. So that's the one area that we haven't seen from him yet, is that consistency night in, night out. And so far this year, he has been elite.
It's the same crew from the Four Nations, the front office wise for Team USA. So things Yeah, and that's why people are like, because Drury's helping out his buddy Bill Guerin, and people are like, why was Chris Kreider on the team? Why was Adam Fox on the team? That's he's going to get his own guys. Wouldn't be shocking to see some of those guys on there again.
What warranted Billy being made the GM of Team USA? A bribe? I don't know.
No one else wanted no one else wanted the role. Was Paul Fenton on vacation?
Oh no, he's too busy. He's too busy as a front office executive for the Florida Panthers, winning cups.
You know what he's doing now? There is interrogating beat writers in Florida for who leaks out information.
Oh gosh, yeah, he's sending reporters that leak information to the gulag, like in Call of Duty. I thought Filip Gustavsson was just fine tonight. San Jose did nothing. San Jose generated nothing through the first 2 periods of this game.
Yeah, they held. Wasn't Will Smith and Celebrini didn't even have a shot through 2 periods.
They had a 0.6 expected goals through the first 2 periods of this game. And this is another issue that we've seen with this team quite often, is you blink, you take your foot off for a couple minutes, and that's all it takes. And Will Smith scores the power play goal.
How about that goal? That was incredible passing by San Jose. It's special. You got Toffoli out there with the 2 young guys, and it's special.
But beyond that, again, 49 different attempts right out in front of the net that you can't cash in on. And you're not going to, this is the other part of this. San Francisco's not great defensively. You're not going to get that many volume of shots against other teams that are actually playoff teams. So it gets even harder.
Yeah, it's, they kind of the Sharks lulled the Wild to sleep and pounced when they smelled blood in the water, and no one was stopping that overtime goal. I don't, Prime Hasek, Gus did everything he could. San
Fran or San Jose, San everything, San Andreas, San Pellegrino, whatever, all the Sands. And guess what? The Wild were Sands goals. Sands 5-on-5 goals here. All the Sands. Comic Sans, San Andreas Fault, Gran Torino, Lakers, and
the Sharks are sponsored by Comedy Central now.
Just something else. 5-on-5 scoring. The Minnesota Wild have upped themselves to 27th in the league at 26 5-on-5 goals. Colorado is first with 46.
They might win the cup, by the way.
They look so good.
Nathan McKinnon is a man on a mission, and if they get the goaltending, and Makar's just playing crazy, amazing good right now too.
This is, I'm trying to kind of shape where to go. Iron John, should we celebrate a point in overtime against the San Jose Sharks? I don't really
look at all the teams they're going to have. It's kind of bunched up now, but they're going to have to jump a bunch of teams to just get to that wild card spot.
Yeah, what is the what are the standings right now? I know the Wild were in about 10th in the West the last I checked.
It's just kind of bunched up. Even Chicago's in a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, they're tied with Edmonton. They're tied with Edmonton, Utah, Seattle, Vegas, Winnipeg. All have 18 points.
It's a cluster, and there's some games going on right now. Some of those could go to 3-point games, so it doesn't help the Wild at all.
Of all the Minnesota Wild teams in franchise history, this is definitely one of them.
No doubt about it.
And it's just like the other thing that I just, oh my God, I just saw the Hines quotes.
Oh boy.
Oh,
It was like our game, our game in episode a couple of times. When was the quote said by Hines?
sometimes your best defense is a good offense.
Yikes. That's not good. That's not good. You can't win many games 2-1, in the league anymore. The Wild are just hoping to get.
They didn't even score a 5-on-5 goal tonight. I can't even. I was going to say on a night in which you score one goal, it wasn't even a 5-on-5 goal.
And they had to fight and claw their way to beat the Flames, who are in McKenna mode. It's they just. I don't believe what Bill Guerin said too either, because what the reports recently were saying he was looking for a middle six player.
Yeah,
that's not a major change up. Nick Robertson's not going to be a major change up.
The report from the I think it was the latest 32 Thoughts. I saw it from, if you don't follow on X, the NHL Watcher report. Basically what they do is they will listen to all the insider podcasts and kind of give cliff notes. Super helpful for somebody like myself who doesn't have time to listen to all of those. But the report was that Bill Guerin has been he's been reading the tea leaves. He's been scouring the trade market to find a way to improve this team. And
someone in the chat put Ryan O'Reilly, and then people have been talking about Jordan Kyrou. Why would Nashville, why would St. Louis want to trade an asset in the division right now? It just, for either team, it makes zero sense. Even if Guerin is called, I would hang up right away. I'd say, oh, sorry, Bill, no service in Nashville and no service in St. Louis.
It's oh, I said on X, shame one of those 50 different looks in front of Askarov didn't find the back of the net. But finishing has been an issue for like 5 years, so it's whatevs. And somebody responded with 25 years.
Oh boy. I saw the joke going around, like some like a scientist in China has come up with something for people to possibly live to 150. I was that might be, you could take that pill and the Wild might not get anywhere near the Stanley Cup.
I don't want it. If I get through most of my life and this Wild team hasn't done anything, I'm not going to extend. I'm not going to buy the extended warranty to try to gamble it and see if they can get it done, because they won't. So here's the other thing. I'm sorry that the flow tonight is mostly awful, because I'm just tangent hopping right now. There are many people in the comments that have brought up Gavin McKenna. And we all know the Wild are not going to be anywhere near. They'll end up at about 14, because they're going to go on a heater and they're going to get themselves in position to just miss the postseason. Like, these are the things that the franchises that don't go anywhere do. These are the moves that the franchises that don't ever go anywhere do, is because they're just perpetually stuck in the purgatory middle. I would rather be absolute last place than middle of the pack. Middle of the pack gets you nothing. Middle of the pack does you no good. Middle of the pack just means you are painfully average at everything that you do.
Other than Zeev, it seems like it's been a misfire on first round picks. recently, and that does you no good either.
We don't even know.
Where's Carson Lambos? Yeah, that was a gigantic swing and a miss.
We don't even really know. Because these guys never get opportunities, and I'll give a spoiler alert for the listeners. You're going to get a late night episode from me because I'm still trying to figure out what happened when Ben Jones got into the lineup for 3 games. Because, hey, we need to win faceoffs in the fourth line. He took like 5 of them in a 3-game span.
And mindless, and 0 points in his NHL career. What is the upside?
It's like he is 0 for 34 as far as points go. And guess what? I already looked at the numbers. Danil Yurov, higher expected goals, lower expected goals against, more shots on net, more shot attempts per 60 minutes than Ben Jones. I'm just rattling this off the top of my head. Like, you're pointing to the one area. It is like,
and then you stick them with Trennan. Like, that's not going to help him. It's a giant yacht anchor next to him.
Let's just call it what it is. It's finding a reason to pull a guy out of the lineup. Like, it's not trying to make an excuse for a guy to get in. It's finding a way to pull a guy out of the lineup. Like, that's what it is at this point. Because there is no justifiable route that you can point to and tell me that Danil Yurov is not the better player than Ben Jones. There's not a single statistical category that you can throw at me.
You drafted Yurov in the first round for a reason. Play him up higher. What is Hines? It doesn't make any sense at all.
TJ, they already had a players only meeting. That magic has already been used.
Bolt down the doors. Someone in the chat said, would they trade 46? Trading your captain right now, that would be something. Right before, he usually brings over the team for Thanksgiving. Well, that would be nuts.
Flip side, this core, and I'm not talking about Kaprizov, Boldy, and others. The core of Spurgeon, Brodin, Foligno, Hartman, what they have not won anything. Like this core leadership group that you have built your team around, you have built them as the foundational piece of the structure and the culture of your team. They have as many postseason wins in the last 10 years as I do.
And this core didn't have to deal with the Chicago dynasty at all. And they should have beat Vegas. Nyquist, that changed everything. They were the better team. Adin Hill fell apart, and it was there for the taking too.
Meanwhile, all of these other teams,
they find a way, right? They find a way
because they have multiple combinations that can score goals.
They don't rely on 2 guys to save them every year.
Let's go on a little adventure here.
At least they aren't as bad as Nashville. Nashville's
terrible.
Disaster.
I saw something today. Can you believe this, Alex? I saw something today that somebody suggested. Is it time for Barry Trotz to step back behind the bench? And I'm like,
could that be worse than Roman Josi? Josi's out, and he just be like, "Can I just go home to Switzerland? I don't want to be back in a part of this."
So the house is already on fire, and now you're going to go light the car on fire and drive the car into the house.
Poor Bruno, poor Darby. Oh my goodness.
That seems ill-advised. I want to go team by team in the Central and look at the scoring options that each of those teams possess compared to the Minnesota Wild. So we're just going to go through players here, and it's a yes or no. Can this player score goals? Let's take a look at the top 6 for each team in the Central Division. Arturi Lekkonen's got 6 goals. Nathan McKinnon's got 6 goals. He's got 14 goals. Marty Nietzsche has 9 goals. Those guys can all score. So that's one line that can score. Ross Colton, he has 2 goals right now. Brock Nelson has 3. Valeri Nichushkin has 5. Guess what? I still trust those guys to score.
They stole Gavin. They stole Gavin Brindley from Columbus too. Columbus just gave him to him. That trade was a sneaky, great trade for Colorado to get him. He got a 2-year extension today, and he looks like a real player. He was awesome at Michigan. I don't know what Columbus was doing there because I don't think Charlie Coyle has much left, and Miles Wood is Miles Wood. So that was a heck of a trade by Colorado.
So pretty much their entire top 6 is capable of scoring. We're good on that. We're good on that statement.
Yes.
All right, Dallas Stars
and Ed McCarr too. So that no, basically another forward.
Remember Sam Steele, a guy who the Minnesota Wild were like, oh, we really can't play him above the 4th line. Sam Steele's playing top line minutes for the Dallas Stars right now.
You forget he was a 1st-round draft pick too, right? So it just, you can't make that up.
Wyatt Johnston has 10 goals. Mikko Rantanen's got 9. Jason Robertson, a little bit of a slow start. Rupe Hintz, a little bit of a slow start. Tyler Seguin, 5 goals. 5 of the 6. But then again, Sam Steele, speed. So I'm good with saying that those two lines can score.
Wyatt Johnston's a future superstar. He's just amazing on the power play for them too.
Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Vilardi. Don't even need to go through the statistics because that's a top line. Vladislav Nemetsnikov has 6 goals. Jonathan Taves, 2 goals so far. From what I've been told, the numbers are slow, but he has been...
He scored tonight too.
Yeah, and he's been okay. Cole Perfetti just getting back into the lineup, which...
They needed him. Yeah, that was... They were struggling, and now they're back.
Is Gustav Nyquist hurt?
He's just been. They kind of just play him all over the place. Niederreiter's been up too. Yeah,
he is not in. He's not on the depth chart as far as daily faceoff goes.
Yeah, he must be. He must have just gotten hurt.
But yeah, you definitely have to.
There'll be a team that will make a trade for sure at the deadline for another.
The Wild would trade for him and stuff him in the top 6, no problem.
No doubt about it.
Like, and this goes back to something that I have said basically since I took over this show, is that you can't band-aid the top 6. You can't say, hey, you have a gaping wound on your forearm. Here's a Band-Aid. That's not going to fix it. It's just going to keep bleeding, and you're going to be like, "Oh, sweet, there's some blood shooting out of that thing."
Yzerman couldn't. He must have fell over when he got a phone call from Bill Guerin saying, "Hey, we'll take Tarasenko off your hands." Here's the biggest cap relief ever for Detroit.
Every move that this GM makes, Glenn just mentioning in the chat that Brandon Duhaime scored tonight.
He's been awesome for them. Awesome.
He also beat the bricks off of what's the name of the guy for Carolina, the young they got from Dallas?
Stankoven.
Yes, he beat the brakes off of Logan Stankoven in a fight too.
He brings that energy. He's perfect with Nick Dowd on there on the 4th line, former St. Cloud Husky. Yeah, they just they are an impressive team out east. They have great team chemistry. You see the social media videos of Ovechkin always pumping him up, and Brandon Duhaime's woofing like a dog in the locker room. It's awesome to see. Good for him.
I miss those vibes so much. That team actually had a pulse. This, with the exception of Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, and occasional moments from the other players, this it's not even a fun watch. It is just vanilla brand hockey. It is water, vanilla ice cream. You take vanilla ice cream and you put water in it, you mix it up and you serve it, and you're like, this is Minnesota Wild hockey right here. Tastes delicious, doesn't it? And you're like, what is this?
They make it easy to defend, and they give they do a lot of teams do give rebounds to the Wild, and they won't say. They're like, here, Olay. It's crazy.
Like, it's just,
yeah, Zeev is fun to watch, but they shelter his minutes a lot too,
Yeah.
which is unleash the beast.
I'm trying to find the quotes from. I'm
Get
basically trying to put myself
in here. Get David Carl in here.
I'm basically just trying to put myself in crash out mode by finding the Hines quotes from the Russo article. The title of which is John Hines, Bill Guerin walk careful line between embracing youth and win now mode.
They can't even do it with the way they want to do it.
We want to push them to try to take a spot, but we can't force it either. President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Bill Guerin told The Athletic. It doesn't really matter what I want. That's a lie. Doing the right thing matters, because if we try to do it too soon, we'll damage the player, and that's the last thing we want. Inaccurate. The big dynamic here is the Wild are in a win now mode. They're not rebuilding, so it's not just as easy as just play the kids, as the article says. There's definitely a balance, because you want them to pop. This team doesn't want anybody to pop. That makes such a big difference on your team. You know, we're in the business of win now, but if we can't play them, we can't. We can't force them to be something that they're not. Again, not accurate. That is just saying things to say things.
Yes.
We just have to be patient and use what we can use.
Salad that we're used to in Minnesota sports owners, GMs, coaches.
Here's the Hines side. It's something you have to constantly monitor, Hines told The Athletic. Are they ready for more? Sometimes you give them more and they're not ready yet. Take a little step back. Maybe they sit. Maybe they play a different role, different minutes. They get back in a role and are more prepared. It's a bit of a moving target. Moving target with a blindfold.
More like someone said year 2 of BG's 5-year plan. Seems like year 0, not year 2.
It's like year -1 of the 5-year plan.
Yeah. And so win now mode, why can't the youth movement be in win now mode? Look at San Jose. Look at Anaheim. They want to win, and they're letting their youth play. You can win with youth.
You know the crux of the issue, Alex, with this is the moment that Bill Guerin said we're going to buy out Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. You have been given an empty runway to reset, to restart, to get everything aligned before you take off with the plane. But instead, out of pure stubbornness and the fact that the organization from the bottom to the top fears the word rebuild, you had a golden opportunity to get everything set up and to get your franchise ready to roll for years to come.
And the funniest thing about this whole thing too is their strategy for free agency this summer. How did they not realize that guys were going to re-sign with their own teams? How did they not anticipate that? Because they panic mode Tarasenko then. They're like, oh, we'll get this damaged asset out of Detroit, and he hasn't done anything. It just was a waste of cap space this year.
I wonder about this, because this is a big talking point for Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. Like, is it stubbornness? Is it stubbornness that the game plan continues to look like a turd with a young quarterback? Is it just stubbornness for Kevin O'Connell that he thinks, yeah, we can do whatever I want because there's nothing that can happen? I think it's flat out stubbornness from Bill Guerin that I think he honestly believed that he could build a winner $15 million cheaper than every single other team in the NHL.
It was just, it wasn't going to happen. And he gave out all these extensions that didn't need to happen. They could have waited to do that. And he really put his hands behind his back by doing that, and then just handing out no move clauses like candy. And it's haunting him now. And now other teams that were in purgatory have gone the youth movement, and they're sick of losing and they want to win, and they're taking it to the older teams.
You buy them out. And like, I have seen this pop up. I've seen this pop up when it's discussed that buying them out was the wrong move. That is inaccurate. Buying them out was the correct decision.
They had to do it. They were turning into locker room nightmares and dividing the locker room. And you remember at one point they were having their own power play coach. It was just a slap into the face of the coaching staff that was paid by the Wild. You can't make that up.
And they 2021, 2022. What is notable about that season? Franchise record for goals.
It was like the Twins Bomba season.
How many times does a franchise one up a franchise record in goals? Doesn't happen.
No.
Could have seen this coming from a mile away. That is the crux. 2021, 2022 is the crux of everything that Bill Guerin has done in his tenure as GM of this team. It all came together in one lightning strikes once moment, and every decision since has been made with the goal of keeping that group together. And what did that group do? That group lost in the playoffs in the first round to St. Louis in the exact same fashion that every team since has lost. Nightmare. Penalty kill. Bad back then. Still bad. Not physical. Small lineup. Small back then. Small now.
Play Dallas in the playoffs. Eck gets hurt, and then you have no answer for how you're going to survive without him out there. And Foligno takes that bad penalty, and it was sayonara to that series too. It just, the worst moments to happen in the series always happen to the Wild. Nyquist, these will stay in the back of your head for life.
Teams are a business, not anything else.
Which is surprising for Leopold because, he loses out on so much money not getting more playoff games, because that's all for him, I don't understand it. It's just, you keep going back to the well and no one ever seems to be under fire. It's crazy.
Which is why I've talked about this year. I don't know. I wonder what the consequences are for not making the postseason. This is a good point too. Like, Sean brings up a fantastic point here. The only reason that the Wild have been in the games that they have is because they barely get penalized.
Which is surprising with, having guys like Foligno, Hartman on the team.
That is the one.
Juracek does take some stupid penalties.
That is the one thing that the Minnesota Wild have gotten better at over the last few years. They were a top 5 team as far as penalty minutes for 2021, 2022, 22-23, 23-24. Last year, they were like 15th, and this year, now they're last. That is the one area that the Minnesota Wild have actually gotten better at.
Give them credit for that,
and that is kind of an oddity. You
should bring up the contracts of the back end too. So, Ron Brandt brought up Middleton having a no move clause. There is a ton of money on that back end, and not a lot of offensive production to show for it. They are paying a bunch of money, more than they probably should.
sometimes a good defense, your best offense is a good defense.
Well, when your offense can't score, then yeah, it's a nightmare for both.
I cannot believe, and rightfully so, there are people that are responding to that and saying not a great night to try to take moral victories out of.
No.
Like, last year, the Wild got off to the best start in franchise history, and they ended up getting into the postseason by 1 point. And they are far from that right now.
They look like a completely different team. Yeah. And the only change they really made was adding Tarasenko, and he isn't doing much. You're off too, but they won't even play you're off. Yeah, Sean brings up another excellent point. Just the goalies have been great. And everything in front of them has been a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Like I don't understand. And this has been a common refrain, because guess what? The 5-on-5 scoring has not just suddenly gotten bad. It's been downtrending since 2021, 2022. Remember the difference from 2021, 2022 to 2023, 2024, where they scored like 40 fewer goals? That was 1 year, and it has gotten worse every single season.
The drafting has been a major issue too. I mean, Zeev fell in their lap. Imagine if they weren't able to get Zeev. But how many first round draft picks stay all 4 years too? That's not a good sign for Charlie Stramel. I know he's having a better season this year, but what's the upside there? Because they clearly, he would have signed, after this junior season, and they didn't do that. So I don't really see the upside there. And Carson Lambos is AWOL in Iowa. They won't play Ogren up here. Yeah, it's a mess.
I saw somebody in the comments say that Matt Boldy is already polishing his golf clubs, and I just want to say that narrative that Matt Boldy not being able to play golf in the offseason,
that was insane,
is one of the stupidest things I have ever heard in my life.
And
it is one of the stupidest.
He's been their best. Boldy's been their best
heard.
player. He's been their best player this year too. He came in off that amazing Vegas series, and whoever talked to him in the offseason, that he had a heck of an offseason, and clearly his golf game wasn't hurting him at all.
So for those that aren't aware of what I was talking about, Matt Boldy participated in like a pro-am event.
It was one round.
One weekend.
Yeah.
And somebody wrote an article about how his heart isn't in. He's not 100% committed to being the best hockey player that he can. It is literally the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life.
I'm sure he saw it, or his agent saw it, and like, are you kidding me that would come out? Yeah, it very frustrating for him, especially when he was playing so well as well.
Have you heard a Hines post presser? I can tell you right now what he said. I can guarantee it. Battle level, loved the battle level, loved our competitiveness, loved the way that we were ready to compete from the beginning of the game. Both teams fought hard. We had chances at 5-on-5. We just couldn't find a way to get him into the net. And the defense stepped up and made sure that San Jose didn't score to even it out.
Look at say TJ's comment. Do you see that? The ping pong?
I can see the Wild having a decent expected goals. They just don't have the shooters to finish off their grade A chances.
No, look at the latest TJ one.
Oh, we need to know if they've removed the ping pong tables or not. Well, they did have the Halloween party.
Yeah, that is really, that's done wonders for this team.
And this is what happens. This is what happens when you watch this same brand of hockey for several seasons. You get completely disillusioned when things get brought, like when the same thing gets trotted out every season.
Look at Matthew's comment. Someone burned the hat. At least they don't have that. At least they don't have the hard chain anymore. That was embarrassing too.
Did you see the story about how that came to be?
Oh no. What was the story?
So Bill Guerin, after one of the losing streaks, I lose track. I can't remember which one. He wrote a note and he said that the tallest redwood trees have the deepest roots. And somehow that turned into the hat.
Ooh.
And
that makes me want to barf. It makes me like at least no one on this team has done an alter ego press conference yet. Man, did that go up in flames for JJ McCarthy. Please, Wild, if you saw that, no one say you have an alter ego, please.
The day that I found that out, I think that was a day in which there was no Locked On Wild episode. The day that I found out the origin of the hat, I shut down for the day. I was
redwood trees. Oh my goodness.
I was like, I am out. I can't do it. I cannot bring myself to. I cannot bring myself to do this. And so I just went to bed, and I found that out at about 4:00 in the afternoon. I shut down for the day and I went to bed.
Yeah, that's you just shut the laptop and or the Jack Nicklaus gif from The Shining. You just throw all the stuff off the table.
I just shut it down. Shut it down for the day. I was like, I need to catch up on sleep anyway, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I truly don't know the answer, because in order for there to be a change in any position, there has to be some sort of acknowledgement that there are issues. And we are about 20 games into the season, and I have seen zero indication other than Bill Guerin saying that he's not afraid to make big shakeups, which I think is an absolute lie.
That was just to say something. How can you believe him? There hasn't been any big shakeups.
No.
And what teams outside of the division are really gonna give up assets right now? It's not happening right now either. So I don't believe him. And can people bring? I brought up Leopold too. If he doesn't say anything, he's at the top. He has the ultimate say, and they seem status quo. I think the hiring of the assistants has been a nightmare too. Capiano's been a nightmare everywhere he's been. I don't know who. They have that Rhode Island, Massachusetts mafia of coaching staff and operations, and yeah, it's been a nightmare.
It's tough to say, Bill Guerin said. The previous sentence I should quantify. Still, Guerin isn't yet willing to write off their prospects as guys who can't become blue chippers. It's tough to say, Guerin said. You know what? I always say Duncan Keith is a prime example. He spent 2 full years in Norfolk. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Did Chicago think he was high end? So for me to say, no, we don't have anybody high end coming, I don't know. We could. You just don't know. We don't know.
Mind-boggling. It's like these people that bring up the McCarthy stats and
that cannot be a real quote. That cannot be a real quote.
Compare him to like Josh Allen stats and Lamar Jackson. You can't. Duncan Keith is one of the best defensemen of all time. Like how you can't compare them to what is in Iowa. Carson Lambos isn't just going to magically turn into Duncan Keith.
I cannot believe that's a real quote.
Duncan Keith won multiple Stanley Cups. He was, you can't make that up. You really can't make that up.
And the common theme from the listeners is right on the money. You don't know because you don't play them. Oh my God. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Dust in the wind down in Des Moines. Yeah, it's got to be tough down there.
I am.
Look at Mike's comment.
Someone Orlando Solar. Good comment section.
The Heartlanders. Tonight. That's our Solar Bears is the Heartlanders.
I cannot believe that's a real quote.
Yes, thanks, Billy, for heroic for him to come from the GM meetings to give JoJo the silver stick. What a heroic move. Yeah. Oh, you can't make it up. Yeah, someone said at least Iowa's not giving up 1,000 goals, but they're still horrible. It's awful.
I think I got to tap out. I think I got to tap out. That has broken my brain.
There's elite somewhere in Iowa. Samuel, what's it? Samuel Halave or whatever. He's the next Dominic Hasek.
This team is just Jason Zucker, Ryan Suter, Nito Niederreiter, Mikhail Granlund, a power play coaching session from Adam Oates away from being Stanley Cup contenders.
Only the Wild to have their own personal power play coach. Oh, poor Mike Yeo. Oh man, we'll never forget that era.
Kevin Fiala ain't walking through that door.
No, just. And remember, people are asking for Alex Tuch to come back. Well, if they didn't screw up the first time, he'd still be on this team. Instead, they kept Matt Boldy or Matt Dumba, and that was just a freaking nightmare.
Chances JoJo signs an extension. I'm going to tell you right now. If Marcus Johansson signs an extension, I'm probably going to resign.
Hanging up Locked On Wild.
And he hasn't even played. Like, he's been one of the few players that has actually been good.
Right.
But you are just fooling yourself if you think that that's going to continue. No, it's an Olympic year. It's a contract year.
Yeah.
If you think that level of play is going to continue, how about you look back at the last 3 seasons before that?
Sean, I only bring up that because people want Tuch back, and I would have rather had Tuch just, look at how it's played out. I know it's hindsight, but Tuch's awesome.
Hindsight.
Yes.
Should have bought the mammoth. Was that? I think that was an off-season bit.
Yes.
I think we tried to buy the. I can't even remember that far back. Well, now you get to follow this up by playing the Ducks on Saturday. Folks, I lied. The episode that will be The episode for you coming in the morning is going to be that Bill Guerin quote. For me to say no, we don't have anybody high end coming. I don't know. We could. You just don't know. We don't know.
Seth, now in the comments of like your tweets and stuff, people should have pictures of Duncan Keith and just to get you going. Like Duncan Keith at Michigan State, Duncan Keith playing in junior, Duncan Keith with the with with the Blackhawks, Duncan Keith even with Edmonton. That was a weird in his arc to finish up with Edmonton, but yeah, just can't make that up.
That is a Hall of Fame. What the hell are you talking about? Quote. Like, Duncan Keith spent 2 full years in Norfolk, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
was Bill at McGovern's before the quote?
Oh, I cannot believe that is real. Oh, there's more to the article too. I can't. I got to be done. I can't.
What a live stream tonight, folks. What a live stream.
I can't do it. Like, how do you follow that up? How do you follow up the general manager saying, I don't know what we have in our minor league system, considering the current state of the team?
Russo almost said, he probably had to hold in a laugh hearing that quote.
I probably would have thrown up.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, that's gonna wrap it for tonight. I am speechless. The Wild lose 2-1 in overtime to the very fun San Jose Sharks, and the best offense sometimes is a great defense. Make sure to like before you head out for the night, and we'll have episodes coming at you here for the rest of the week. Once I pick my teeth up off the floor. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.